Hey everybody, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and today I've got a big CGC unboxing because it wasn't just one order that came in, it was two. So for today's video we're going to do the first box, and then I'm going to do a separate video for the second box so we can split it into two. I don't want it to go too long. You know how I go on these videos, they go on forever sometimes, especially when I do a CGC unboxing, because I want to sit here and I want to talk about the stories and what I might have done to bump up the grades when I cleaned and pressed them. Where did I get the books? What was the story behind the books? As I say, every comic has a story. It's a little phrase I came up with because it's really true. These stories these books have history with me one way or the other, whether they were a recent pickup or even if they were something from my childhood collection. So every book has a story, guys. So here we go. This is the very first box. I don't know which one of the two it is. I do have my sheets where I have got the values on it. Now, one of these orders is a pre-screen 9.6. The other one is a pre-screen 9.4. I can tell right now by the size of the boxes that not everything met the pre-screen, but if you've watched my other videos recently, you know that this is part of my process now. I send in these books, I work on these books, I get them up to where I think they should be, or the best I can get them, and I've looked at the values at certain grades, and if a book doesn't meet that certain grade, that's why you do a pre-screen, then maybe it shouldn't be graded, because the value just drops off. You put all this extra money into it and it's just not worth it. So this is why I do a pre-screen. And when you see me do a pre-screen, and I don't get, especially on these are all older books, mostly from the 80s and 90s. Actually, I think I've got some in this one. It's probably in the 2000s. The 9.6 has probably got some newer books, I'm sure. But you will see that I try to I don't want those books getting graded if they're going to fall below a certain value. And so that's why I don't get upset. If something doesn't make the grade, that's okay. I've got options at that point. Do I keep it raw? Do I go back and look at it and see if I can improve it a little bit more? It's a small price to pay to not basically put even more money into something. Then it's going to be almost worthless. What are you going to do? Are you going to then crack it out to try to bump it up a little bit and put even more money in it? Well, this is the way I'm doing things, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. But anyway, let's get into the video, let's get into the box here and see which one it is. I am very excited about this. It's been a while since I've got a 2-box order in a single day like this, and these are definitely some of my favorite books. It's going to be very repetitive from other videos. I repeat a lot of books, mostly because I send in a lot of the same books, maybe not in the same order. So I'm going to open up the first one here. This is the heavy one. I know I've got more books in the other box than the other box, but this one right here is pretty heavy. I'm trying to look at the weight. Yeah, my guess, it's about 20 pounds. My guess is it's probably 19 or 20 books in this. So we'll see what we did. All right, put it down and let's get into it. I do like the fact that CGC has gone back to using these big, thick, corrugated pads like this. I love these things. I save these, and when I submit orders to CGC now, I use some of these right here in my boxes. It really helps out. I try to really protect my orders that go to CGC. They probably hate me with the way I package these things. I package them so well. I will tell you this, there's probably not many people package better than me on something like that. But all right, got the books backwards here so I can take a look. There is the raw books, and this is just like probably the last video. This is about right. It's gonna be 5 or 6. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get into it. Now this one is, as I said, it's gonna be a grade reveal. It is. I'm just gonna look at the title of the book real quick here, and I'm already looking at the. Oh wow. Okay. So let me get I know which the first book is, so that tells me which order this is. And I'm going to go ahead and get the paperwork here. This is the 9.6 pre-screen. So, yeah, it's got some pretty good books. Now, on my spreadsheet, I'll show you this real quick. The spreadsheet that I do is, I've got this, and I based everything, the prices on this is based on a 9.6. And I do this when I send an order out. And on this, I have a place where I basically, how much the book costs me, what's the CGC fees, what's the postage fees, and then I have places where what is the potential sale price based on that 9.6. And the way I'm getting that price before I send it out is mostly basically if I can go to eBay and buy that book today, what's the least I could pay for it without offering less or something. But right, if I wanted to straight buy it now, what would be the least amount I could do? And that's the prices that I've got on here. So if any of these meet the 9.6, I can look down and say, okay, when I sent this in, this is what the value was for that. If it goes above that, if it's a 9.8, then it's possible that I've got it on the big spreadsheet that I did. And again, it's just one of those where I don't know if I've got every book on this list. There's some that will be on here and some that won't. And if that's the case, I will look up the prices and I will put them off to the side on the video on some graphics here, so you can get an idea of what the fair market value would be for something at a higher grade. Now, if it falls below that, then it's out of the discussion. So, okay, enough talk. I've got the first book up. I've already seen the grade as I was trying to do the book, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited about this one. Well, I'll reveal the grade for you guys. This is Psylocke #1. Beautiful David Finch cover, and I got a 9.8 on it. And I gotta tell you, I am shocked on this one completely, because this is a book that I worked on early in my learning on how to clean and press, and I was not happy with the way that the book was coming out, and I put it aside and I said I don't want to get it graded, even though it was a lot of value on this. And let me give you a real quick value on that right there. At a 9.4, the Psylocke was 110. I don't know if I've got it on the sheet here, because this is a book that predated me doing this list. I bet you for sure that this is not on here, which it's not. But I know this. I've seen some crazy value on this book. I never thought it was that valuable, and I was like, oh, I can't believe I even had that. I don't even think I've got the other issues in this miniseries. But this is a book that had some spine tick damage over on the side, and I worked on it, thought I was doing pretty good, but I just couldn't get it out. And it wasn't until I started learning how to use moisture to my advantage on these books that I really started seeing big gains on the improvement on what I could do to these things. And this is a case where this book right here fell into this order. It went into a 9.6 pre-screen because I felt like this was going to be a 9.6 at best. So right now, that's awesome. Got a 9.8 on that. That is freaking awesome. All right, I will try not to look at these from now on. Now that I know the order, I don't have to kind of look over it. All right, this is Batman #1, the New 52 one. And this, I remember, I had sent this in raw, well, obviously raw, as a 9.8 pre-screen. I didn't do anything to it at the time. I thought it was really good. I sent in issues 1, 2, and 3. I got back 2 and 3 graded 9.8s. That was awesome. This one got rejected. I said, okay, I'm just going to take it and we'll work on it. And after doing some more research and getting a 9.6, well, figuring that a 9.6 on the Batman #1 was about $130 value, well, that answered the question. I can throw it into a 9.6 pre-screen on this. So let's see how we did with my clean and press after the fact. 9.6, okay, that's kind of what I expected with the kind of the ticks, and I can't see it while I'm doing this. I've got lights in my eyes here, but that's kind of what I was expecting. That's why this went into this order like this. All right. Next up, All right, here is a great book, Spawn number 9. This is one that I picked up, I believe, from Whatnot, and it looked really nice. It looked better than the copy that I owned that came out. I bought originally when it came out, and my copy, I worked on that thing, and I knew it was never going to be a 9.8. There is a very black cover, and I'll show you the cover in the back in a second, but the back of it's very black, and there was definitely some crunch on one of the corners back there that even you could smooth it out, but it still has the color crunch. And I'm going, okay, I'm just going to get it graded for my personal sake. I was hoping to get maybe a 9.4 at best, maybe a 9.2. I didn't know it looked really good other than that, but I've seen books get dinged really badly, and I got a 9.6 on it, and I was shocked. But this copy came in, and I thought it was super clean to begin with. It was a Whatnot pickup, and if this is a 9.6, then I can't tell you what my other one really should be, because this book was so much better. So let's see what we did. Awesome. Awesome. That right there, that's perfect. That is perfect. 9.8. There is some surprising value on this book. At points over the last year, I've seen it not be that valuable. Now it's more valuable. So it's kind of all over the place. My prices on these things are based on at the time when I was getting. It wasn't even when I sent them in. It was more like probably the week to 3 weeks, 4 weeks before I even sent these in, because I had to do the research on the books to know what pre-screen I wanted to put them at. But let's look up. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I've got Spawn number 9 on here. So when I put this list together, yeah, this right here I had at the time was a $200 value. So that's freaking awesome. A 9.6 would have gone about $100. It really dropped off, and it was still worth it for a 9.6. But a 9.8, that's freaking awesome. That is awesome. It's gonna be hard to give up something like that. That's something, because in my last order I literally just got Spawn number 1 again. That's the second one I've done. And I got a 9.8 on it, so on both of them. So that right there is going to be real nice to send out to keep that in a collection and then sell the 9.6. All right, here is a very more modern book. It's Spider-Man 546. This is, excuse me, Brand New Day. Sorry about that, guys. And this is another book just like that Batman that had went into a 9.8 pre-screen. It was a very early book in my submission process a year ago, and I felt like it was really clean. I've learned more over that time, but this book definitely could have used a little bit more love and care from me, and that's what I did. I tried to, hopefully we'll bump this up to a 9.8 at this point, because it definitely wasn't, the first time around, but there's value at this at a 9.6. So let's see how we did. All right, got a 9.6, and so I'm happy with that, only because it still has value. So Spider-Man, if I can find it here. At the time, I've got this based on about $145 value. So that's a pretty good value even on a 9.6 like that. All right, next up, I'm trying not to look. X-Men 11. This is that classic Jim Lee cover, Wolverine front and center. It's sort of like the characters that you all found in the X-Men Adventures on the cartoon show, but this was the MCU or the Marvel Comics version, of course. Nothing significant about this book. It's not the first issue, not the first time I've sent this book in. I've gotten 9.8s on this before, and let's see how we did on this one. All right, 9.6. 9.6 on X-Men number 11. Yeah, it's about $120 value. Now I'll go ahead and just do a quick look and see if I have it on my list. What would it? Yeah, I don't have it on there. I've got X-Men number 1 and 4 or number 5, but I don't have this one on here. So anyway, 9.6 on that, still pretty good. Awesome. All right, I think I've got, if I just looked on the list, I've got 3 of those. So we'll see if all 3 of them made it. Obviously, here's the second one. And let's see how we did on this one. 9.6. Okay. It is what it is. 9.6. Awesome. Now these are obviously for sale. I'm doing multiple copies of these, so sometimes I'll hold some of these on into the PC, and sometimes a lot of these will be for resale, help pay for some of the hobby and everything. All right, here's the third copy. All three of them met at least that 9.6. Let's see if we got any better on this one. Yes, we did. Got a 9.8. There we go. There we go. That is awesome. Like I said, I think this is the second time now I've got a 9.8 on this. So, nice. That's very nice. That's going to be neat to compare, set those, when I get some time in better light, I can sit there on the desk and maybe I'll take a look at each of those books side by side, the 9.8 and the 9.6. Put them side by side and let's see if I can really discern any difference. All right, what is up next? Oh, okay. So this is it's going to be a nice book. I'm hoping 9.8 because it would go good with the other book I got like this. This is the facsimile reprints from Marvel. They were the Marvel Milestone editions, and this is obviously Amazing Fantasy 15. The other one I was talking about was Spider-Man #1. Now let's see what we did. Oh my god, we got a 9.8. I'm sorry guys, that was an awful reveal. I was just so interested in seeing what I got. I got a 9.8 on that Spider-Man #1, and I was hoping for that on this because these are tough. This gray metallic around the edges, if they get any kind of scuff, you really can't get it out, or at least I haven't been able to. And so if you get a crease, a corner crease, they can't just iron it out in these cases because, as I said, that metallic ink is just, it's unforgiving. And kept looking for good copies of these, and so now I've got a matching pair to go with the Spider-Man #1 here. This is awesome. Now, I wonder if they have some allowance on that there, because I will say that this edge here can be kind of rough. I mean, this with the metallic, and when they do the folding of this, it's kind of rough on that paper there. It's never just, it's not quite as smooth as you would like. All right, next up, okay, here's one that came in one of my last orders. I was super happy with it because I got 9/8 on it, but it is Spider-Man 293, and this is one of those books I keep buying over and over. Kraven's Last Hunt, all of those books, and we'll see how we did. All right, 9.6. 9.6 on that was, now it's about $100 value, so can't complain. Hopefully somebody will like this right here, because I'm going to definitely hold on to that 9.8. All right, let's see if we come up. Okay, so here's the match, 294, and I had one of these in the last order, and I got a 9.6 on that, and I was happy with that. Obviously, and the reason I say that like that is because the 293 I got a 9.8, and I think some of the Web of Spider-Mans, I got 9.8s on those, and this one came to a 9.4, so let's see how we did. Okay, we got another 9.6 on that, so yeah, we'll get there. I've got this thing where if I cannot, I'll keep going back to this book. It's one of those, I'll have to get a 9.8 someday, or I'll just keep buying that book and keep working on it until I can get it. All right, here is a nice book. This is Marvel Comics Presents #1. And, of course, we've got a Walt Simonson cover on the front and the back here. And I think this came from the PC, because I don't remember picking any of these up at shows. But let's see how we did. All right, we got a 9.6 on that. And let's see, Marvel Comics Presents. I'm missing it completely. Oh, there it is. About $100 value on that. And I've got another one in this collection here somewhere too. But yeah, that's pretty good. You know, they did the solo Wolverine stories in those, and that was, of course, that led into the second Wolverine series and everything. John Byrne was working on these as well. And of course, we had the famous Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X storylines as well. All right, here's the second copy. And I'm sure you guys just saw, if you look quick, I'm sure you saw that before I did. But hey, there you go. Now 9.8 on that. That is awesome. Let's look it up real quick. Let's see what we can find. Marvel Comics Presents #1. Yeah, I've got that as a basic about $170 value. So that's really nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, what is up next? Sorry, the stack is starting to fall. Okay, we've got another one of the Marvel Milestone editions. Let's see which one this is. This is Tales of Suspense 39. I forgot I had sent this in. And let's see how we did on this one. 9.8. Wow. You know, after a rough start with some of these Marvel Milestone editions, I had an Iron Man, Spider-Man 129, Iron Man 55, first Thanos. I had Spider-Man 129, first Punisher, and I think there might have been one other one. That's a while back, and I remember getting 9.4s and 9.6s on a couple of those. So to get now, this is the third in a row now of these that I've gotten a 9.8. So I got to be really happy with that. That is awesome. You know, guys, how much I love the facsimile reprints on all of this. All right, bubble wrap. I'm not trying not to look here. All right, here we have a book that I'm a broken record. You know, I love these books. This is X-Men 213, the Wolverine Sabretooth battle. This is the first time on the cover like this. Alan Davis artwork. And let me do a quick look on this. This is Uncanny X-Men 213. I've got two of these in the order. One of them I picked up from Whatnot. One of them I picked up at a show up in Hunt Valley. One in early December, one in early January. So let's see what we did. Got a 9.6. Okay, I can't be displeased with that because in my last big X-Men order, I really got dinged on these books, and I don't know why, because the books look really good, but you're talking 9.2s and 9.4s, and yes, that's not awful, but in terms of value, it really drops down. So 9.6 is respectable. I just looked that up for a second. Maybe $125 value right there, but it's definitely the highest grade I've gotten on those so far. All right, let's see what else. All right, here we have Avengers 268, and this isn't a big book. But I did it because I've gotten 267 and 269 both graded, and it's three parts, three stories, three comics to the Council of Kang storyline. You know they're going to probably draw from those issues a little bit when they introduce Kang into the MCU, and anyway, I did this basically so I could have the three together. So let's see how we did. That's awesome. You need a 9.8 on this book in particular to have any true value, and even that's not going to be great. So let's see if I've even got it on the overall list as a 9.8. Avengers 268. No, it was definitely, this was an order I went in way before I put that list completely together. But as a 9.4, yeah, it's about $125. So my guess is probably that $160, $180 range on this. As I said, it's not a super valuable book, but as a 9.8, it does have some value. All right, let's set that aside. All right. Let's keep going here. All right, Fantastic Four 249. This is I love this cover. This is one of my favorite John Byrne books that wasn't a Doctor Doom book or She-Hulk. This was I love this cover. You've heard me talk about this cover. I just love it. I love the way he used to draw the Thing. And anyway, there's a little bit of value in this, but you got to get a super high grade on this to have any true value. And we got a 9.6. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. And I've got that as basically it's a $100 book at that point. So not bad. Yeah, I thought I did a really good job getting those cleaned and pressed. That was Baltimore Comic Con. That was one of the ones I picked up back then, last October. All right, so we have got another Fantastic Four here, and this is 239, and this is the first appearance of Ben Grimm's aunt, Aunt Petunia. I can't pronounce that. Anyway, and it's also the first appearance of Frankie Ray. I think is it a first appearance of Frankie Ray? Okay, let's see. First off, let's do the value. If it 9.6, I've got this as a 135 value. Let's see how we did. Hey, woo, got a 9.8. That is freaking awesome. Yeah, it's a first appearance of Ben's aunt, but Frankie Ray, Quicksilver, Crystal, and Lockjaw appearances. So it's not the first appearance of Frankie Ray, but she's definitely front and center. There's all kinds of talk that she's going to be a featured character move further down the MCU once they start doing more stories with intergalactic type stories. So Fantastic Four 239. I know I got this on here. Yeah, I've got this as a $220 value. So that is really good. And if I remember right, 9.6 was respectable, but I know it dropped off really a lot. All right, continuing on. Looks like I've got 3 more books here. I haven't done the math, so I don't know where we are. Oh, this is Krusty Comics #1, another one of the Bongo comics that came out in the 90s. And it's not the first one that I've gotten graded. In fact, one of the last orders I got Simpsons comics, and was it comics and stories or just Simpsons comics? Sorry, the list there. I got a 9.8 on that. So it's not the first 9.8 I've got in these as well. So let's see how we did. Awesome, 9.8. And excuse me for a sec while my monitor tries to go to sleep. All right, so that is freaking awesome. So the fact that I've got here, I'll leave it there for a sec. The fact that I've got this as a 9.8, I mean as a 9.6, said that there was still some value at this. I had it at 120. Let's see if I've actually, like I said, this order predated a lot of this sheet here. So let's see what we did, what I can find real quick. Krusty. Yeah, like I said, it predated it. I'll look it up. I'll put it on the screen afterwards here. All right, last 2. Okay, this is X-Men 24. This is the classic Andy Kubert, Rogue, and Gambit cover. I don't think there's much significance to the book other than this is just an absolutely great cover. So let's see how we did on this. 9.6. Okay, so 9.6 on this in particular at the time was, again, another $100 value. You can tell that my threshold on this was basically the $100 mark. So, by the time you put fees and how much, depending on how much you actually spent on these books, depending on whether it was cover price or bottom of a show or whatever, if you can sell these, it's going to make a little bit. It's not, you're not going to go get rich on some of these like that exactly. But like I said, that was a minimum. That was the minimum amount that I wanted to have in this. If it dropped down past that $100 mark, obviously it was going to be kind of devastating. It would be, your margins would be awful. All right, so we got one more. This is Fantastic Four 249 one more time. And as I said, one of these, I'm looking real quick. Actually, both of them came from the Baltimore Comic Con. So let's see what we did on this one. 9.6. Okay, that's respectable. That is respectable. So that is pretty good. I'm just doing a quick look over the list and see, right before we do the Raws here, what did not make it. What did not make it? Oh, really? Okay. So let's get into the Raws real quick. So we cut this video short, and let's see if I can find my knife. Okay, got my knife. Should have put it up here. Let's see what didn't make it. So 1, 2, yep. So I was right. It was 20 books that got graded, and we've got 5 that didn't meet that 9.6 threshold. And first one up is Batman Adventures #1. It's like, really? Really? Yeah, I don't know. This I thought looked really good. This was an original. It was a reject from a 9.8 when I sent it in. This order, that with those other books were rejects that came back as 9.6s on a couple of those. Okay, great. Okay, it's not a 9.8, but you tell me that's not a 9.6. Come on. And then the second copy of X-Men 24 didn't make it. And I'll save that one for last. And then I had 2 copies of Fantastic Four 259. This is part of that Doctor Doom storyline. Love those stories. This is probably my favorite Doctor Doom. The 3 issues right here, part of that Doom storyline. Yeah, I'm a little surprised, but okay. But then the last one here, I had another copy of 213 that didn't make the 9.1 threshold. And you want to talk about why I do a pre-screen, and this is a great example. As I said, that X-Men order from a few orders ago, I'll leave a link for it. I don't know which episode it was, but it's the one that's titled basically I got hammered by CGC. And it was a big X-Men order. This book was in there at least once, twice, I think, and they dropped down. I'm talking 9.2s and 9.0s and 9.4s, and it was kind of devastating. And I'm sitting there still doing like, what I'm going to do with this box? Am I going to break these open and try to fix them and try to get them up, or am I just going to try to move them, get my money out of it, and get out of it? I don't know. But here we got a case of that book didn't make it. I didn't need another 9.4 or 9.2 added to this. So now I've got an opportunity to take this book back into the shop, really inspect it again, and maybe I reintroduce it into another order again. So it's just, yeah, it's going to give me an opportunity to do that later on. But anyway, guys, that is the first box out of this 2-box submission. I'm going to kind of wrap up things right here, and then I'll open the other one in another video. And when I put these videos out, sorry about the dates, when these things come in and everything, because right now I know I've got a bunch of videos that are getting ready to go up, and so this video, when you see this, will probably be at least a week or 2 after I'd already gotten them. So hopefully I didn't date stamp myself here. But the one other thing I want to say is on this order here, this order came back super quick. CGC really is getting orders in and out, at least on the moderns. This order, the only dates I've got on this is basically what day did I mail this out. I put it in FedEx, dropped it off at their office at February 11th of this year. Today is May 20th. So now when you watch this video, you know exactly when I filmed this, May 20th. And wow, that's really quick. That's quicker than the last orders and everything. So kudos to them for kind of doing this. I've been very happy with their work. I've been seeing a lot of videos where people have been very unhappy with some of the quality of the books and things like that. But for my part, CGC has been very good with the grading. I think they've been very fair with things, and they haven't been lazy. That's one of the other things. You see me send in multiple copies of things, and I don't get the feeling that they slack on, if you've got 3 books and one of them's kind of bad, that'll lower the grades on the other ones. I haven't had that experience exactly. So I'm still high on CGC. Everything they've been doing so far has been really good. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and if you liked today's video, please hit the thumbs up and share with your friends, and thanks for the support. Take care.